So check class is defined as a document that orders bank to pay a specific amount of money from a person's account to the person in whose name the check has been issued. Now, who are the three parties involved in the preparation of checks? So of course, we have the drawer, the payee, and drawee. Using this example, let's identify who is the drawer, the payee, and drawee. Okay? There are different kinds or types of checks. Our main focus here are the four important checks that we need to know. When we say company stale checks, now from the word stale, a check becomes invalid after 180 days, or in Philippines, 6 months from the date it was issued. So example sa stale check class kay, if ang check gi-issue siya, for example, atong January 1, 2021, it may only be considered as valid for transaction until June. Diba? Kaya ika 6 months, June of the same year. So, kung mula pa siya sa June, July na, the check becomes stale. When we say company's post-dated check, this is a kind of check that is dated at a future date. So, pang hinaharap siya, example, ang check, gi-release siya itong January 1. Pero, ang nakabutang sa date kay March 31, 2021. So, meaning to say, ang date is post-dated. No? Post-dated. Kaning check may be transacted only as soon as March 31 arrives. The check is restricted for payee's account and will only be accepted for deposit. Thus, it cannot be encashed over the counter. This is done by writing two parallel lines on the upper left corner of the check. So kung makabantay mo nga naay duha ka linya na naka-reflect sa check, pasabot ana dili siya pwede ma-encashed over the counter. When we say bouncing checks, no, a check cannot be honored by the bank because the drawer has no sufficient funds to cover the amount of the check. So for example, if ang naalang niya is 10,000 sa iyang account, pero ang gi-issue nimo kay more than, so insufficient siya, mo bounce good ang check. So you may issue 10,000 or less. Okay. So take note class, when writing a check, you have to carefully write the details and you have to avoid erasures. When receiving checks, kung ikaw magdawat sa checks, make sure that the checks issued to you are free from errors. So I hope nasabtan ang check. Now let's proceed to the identification and understanding contents of a bank statement.
Yes, ma'am. Bank statement is a monthly report provided by the bank to the depositor which show to the following information: beginning of month, cash balance, total of deposits made by the depositors and other bank credits during the month, total check paid by the bank and other bank charges during the month, and end of month cash balance.
Okay, so in other words, transactions involving savings account can easily be monitored as they are reflected in the account holder's passbook every time a transaction is made. Preparation of bank statement is every month, no, made by the bank. So I have here different purpose why we need to prepare bank statement. First is to check that credits have been entered into the correct amount. Second, to check that nobody else has fraudulently accessed their account. Third is to make sure that debits and withdrawals from automated teller machines have been deducted from the account for the right amount. And lastly, to check that any bank charges deducted by the bank are as expected and are neither too much nor incorrect. So we have here 6 columns sample of a bank statement. Now take note, class, that a bank statement contains relevant information. First is the customer's information. So you have here Juana de la Cruz. The information is correctly stated without misspellings. So kinahanglan correct ang spelling sa name o sa address. Second important thing that we need to consider in a bank statement is the information of the bank, including the name, the phone number, the address of the bank. Then third is the account information. So there in the right side, no? This can help us to identify the account number and the type of account that is held by the account holder. So we have here the current account number and the statement period covered. Of course, the most important transactions, deposits made during statement period and withdrawals through checks, bill payments, ATM withdrawal, bank fees, debit purchases. So in the first column, you have here the date, followed by the check number, the transaction code. So kung ang transaction is deposit, then you have to write their deposit. So in some banks, butangan na nila og number, no? Word and number. But for our example, we only have here word, no, for the transaction, deposit. Then the corresponding debit amount, credit, and balance. So the balance here is the running balance of your bank statement. The beginning balance forwarded. So kaning 44,200, diba, dated November 1, 2014, was the ending balance before. So last month, no, so sa last month, October. Sa October 31, 2014, ang ending balance is 44,200. What is a bank reconciliation statement?
Bank reconciliation statement is a report which compares the bank balance as per company's accounting records with the balance stated in the bank statement.
Okay. So we need to reconcile because there are errors happening, di ba? When we going to check the ledger of the company's book, so with the bank statement na ay different, so dili siya magkatugma. That's why we need to prepare a bank reconciliation statement. Okay, so mao na siya ang main purpose. So compare the bank balance and the company's records per accounting period. So every month, we need to prepare a bank reconciliation statement. There are two common causes of discrepancies in figures. What are these two? And kindly describe, Len Jaisel.
The two common causes of the discrepancies in figures. First, time lags prevent one of the parties, like company or the bank, from recording the transaction in the same period as the other party. Second is errors by either party in recording transactions.
Okay, so when we say time lags, there is what? A difference of time. So for example is a bank statement that ends January 31, 2021, and then the company was able to collect cash, let's say 30,000 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The bank usually closes, usang orasa manirado ang bank, di ba? Alas 3, no, sa hapon. Because of this, the cash collected will not be reflected in the bank as deposits, but it is however recorded in accounting records of a company. So sa time lags, na ay difference sa time, meaning to say, dili siya mag-coincide. Nga naman, ang libro sa company nag-record na ka o deposit. Pero pag abot nimo sa bangko kay naulahi ka, naabtan kag alas 5, so wala nimo siya ma-deposit sa bank. Nya naka-record na ka sa imuhang libro. It can be a reason nganong dili mo coincide ang atoang bank statement with the company's books. That's why we need to prepare bank reconciliation. So again, time lags is one of the two common causes, no, why we need to prepare bank reconciliation. Second class is kaning gitawag natong errors. Errors by other party in recording transactions. So for example lang kay ang cheque nga gi-issue, example Samuel C, no, by the company amounting to 1,000. Unya kay ang company gi-record niya 100. So pilay difference, di ba, 900? So when the check was presented, the bank paid Muelse 1,000. In the records, the company, it was only 100, di ba? While in the records of the bank, it's 1,000. So there is in the case of an error that will cause the difference between company's records and bank records. So unsaon pag-solve ning mga discrepancies? Para masolbad siya, dapat maghimo ta og bank reconciliation statement. Okay. Next.
uh, Helps in the identification of errors in the accounting records of the company or the bank, provide necessary control mechanism to help protect the valuable resources, provides added comfort that the bank transactions have been recorded correctly in the company records, and assists in the regular monitoring of cash flows for business.
Okay. Now take note that cash is the most vulnerable asset of an entity or business. So bank reconciliations provide us necessary control mechanism to help protect the valuable resource through uncovering irregularities. Parehaan ng unauthorized bank withdrawals, no? However, in order for the control process to work effectively, it is necessary to segregate the duties of persons responsible for accounting. So dapat gid unta as manager dili gid siya manghilabot ana. Kay kumintag cash dapat naara gid na ni teller or someone responsible for accounting and authorizing of bank transactions and those responsible lang for preparing and monitoring bank reconciliation statements. Another thing, class, if the bank balance appearing in the accounting records can be confirmed to be correct, di ba? Kaya na-compare naman nimo ang ledger o ang bank statement, sakto siya, it provides added comfort, di ba? So, ikaw, ang imong feeling nga happy ka, di ba? Comfortable ka, nga walay sayop sa record, so walay fraud nga nahitabo, that the bank transactions have been recorded correctly in the company records. In the monthly preparation of bank reconciliation, it assists in the regular monitoring of cash flows of a business. So, bawaan gud nimo diri kung asa nagpadulong ang kwarta, kay mahibawaan nimo ang debit o credit. So, unsay nadugang sa kwarta. So, mga movement sa cash. Okay, let's proceed. We have here a sample bank reconciliation statement. Actually, this is one of the three types, no, or methods of bank reconciliation statement. So I'll proceed first in the next slide. So there are three methods, no, of preparing BRS. First is the adjusted, second is book to bank, third is bank to book. Focus only on adjusted method. So if you will pursue accounting major in college, you will going to undergo or undertake this book to bank and bank to book. Though different methods, but you will arrive with the same answer, no, for the balance. So let's go back to the previous slide. So we have here, this is a good example of format or pro forma bank reconciliation statement using adjusted method. So for adjusted method, you have there an adjusted book balance in the left side, while on the right side, you can see there the unadjusted bank balance. Let's analyze the effects of the identified reconciling items. So when we say reconciling items, again, these are the adjustments made in each account, either book or bank. So now, first we have to study the deposit in transit. Okay, kindly read the definition, Emeline.
Yes, ma'am. Deposit in the transit are amount already received and recorded by the company but are not yet recorded by the bank.
Okay, so in transit, meaning in process. Deposits in transit are what? Are already recorded to the company's records but not recorded in the bank statement. So the bank need to be added to the bank reconciliation as an increase to the balance per bank to report the true amount of cash. So kanang deposit in transit, imo siyang i-add. I-add mo siya sa unadjusted bank balance beginning. Now, what about outstanding checks? Kindly read the definition. Karil Angela.
Yes, ma'am. Outstanding checks are checks that have been written and recorded in the company's cash account but have not yet cleared the bank account or presented to the bank by the payee.
Okay, so in other words, these are checks written during the past few days of the month, plus a few older checks are likely to belong in this category. Tungod kay ang mga cheque have been written already and immediately recorded in the company's cash account, there is no need to adjust the record of the company for outstanding checks. However, ang ato i-consider, ang outstanding checks, wala siya ma-reach, wala siya kaabot sa bank and the bank statement. Therefore, outstanding checks are listed on the bank reconciliation as a decrease in the balance per bank. Kung kana si deposit in transit, nag-focus siya sa deposits nga on process, nga wala ma-record sa bank, i-add siya. Kani sa outstanding checks, mao ni siya ang mga withdrawals, mao na gitawag nga deductions, no? Withdrawals na siya nga na-record sa company's books pero wala siya ma-record dito sa bank statements. Ato January 31, si David nag-issue siya check ni Emeline, example 2,000. Ang cheque kay na-record siya ni David sa iyang libro, no, a deduction to his cash kay withdrawal man na siya. It so happened lang nga ang bank nag-close sila on that day, sarado ang bangko. Unya si Emeline was able to visit the bank and have it encashed on February 1, 2021 only. And the bank statement received by David, no, from his bank ending January 31, 2021, the 2,000 check was not yet deducted. However, it was already deducted in the books on January 31, 2021. So the 2,000 check is what we call the outstanding check. What about the third? We have the bank errors. Kindly read, Shannon Lay.
Bank errors are mistakes made by the bank. It could include the bank recording an incorrect amount, entering an amount that does not belong on a company's bank statement, or omitting an amount from a company's bank statement.
Okay. So depending on the error, the correction could increase or decrease. So ang nature sa bank errors class depende siya, pwede na to siya i-add, pwede siya na to i-minus. So depende sa error gid na siya. Since the company did not make the error, the company's records are not changed. So kinsa lang ang maghimo aning adjustment, it's the bank. Mao nang kanang bank errors either i-plus minus nimo siya sa unadjusted bank balance. Okay, take note of that. Bank service charge. Kindly read the definition. Karil Angela.
Yes, ma'am. Bank service charges are fees deducted from the bank statement for the bank's processing of the checking account activity.
Okay, so unsa maning mga activity nga involved ani nga service. So first, we have kanang mag-accept kag deposit. So naa na siya equivalent charge. Kung mag-post kag check, naa po na siya equivalent charge. Kung mag-mail ka sa bank statement, ipadala ang bank statement dito sa company. So naa po na siya equivalent charge. So asa siya na to i-adjust? It's in the company's book, no? Other types of bank service charge class includes the fees charged when a company overdraws its checking account and the bank fee for processing a stop payment order on company's check. So kung maka-encounter mo ani, apil na pud ng mga charges or fees on the bank statement without notifying the company, di ba? Kaya usahay na may bank statement ipadala pero dili pa hibawa ng company, na po na siya equivalent charge, no? And another class is kung walay adjustment nga himuon to the balance per bank. So naa na siya bank service charge nga i-enter as part of adjustment of the company's books. The company's cash account will need to be decreased by the amount of the service charge. Mauna nga kana sa service charge, i-minus gid siya sa tuang unadjusted book balance always. NSF check. Kindly read the definition, Angelica.
NSF check
It's a check that was not honored by the bank of the person or company writing the check because that account did not have a sufficient balance.
Okay, so from the word NSF comes from the acronym no sufficient balance. So as a result, the check is returned without being honored or paid. Iuli gid na siya basa NSF. So when the NSF check comes back to the bank, in which it was deposited, the bank will decrease the checking account of the company that had deposited the check. So maong i-minus nimo siya sa imong libro. The amount charged will be the amount of the check plus a bank fee. So kanang bank fee for NSF lahi po tong bank service charge nga gi-mention a while ago. Tungod sa NSF check class o other related bank fee have already been deducted in the bank statement, wala na tay kinahanglanon nga or wala tay himuon pa no nga i-adjust sa bank statement. Ang atong himuon dire or adjustment is to reconcile lang. Ito siyang i-minus no from the cash account for the return check and the bank fee. Remember, the company must decrease the balance per book in order to reconcile para mauli gid siya. If you will not do that, then dili gid na siya nato mabalance. Okay? Take note of that. Okay, another debit memo. We have check printing charges. Kindly read, Lynn Jaisel.
Check printing charges occur when a company arranges for its bank to handle the reordering of its checks. The cost of the printed checks will automatically be deducted from the company's checking account.
Okay, because the check printing charges have already been deducted on the bank statement, there is no need, no, for the adjustments to be made in the balance per bank. However, the check printing charges need to be adjusted on the company's books. Meaning to say, this will be deducted on the company's cash account. What about interest earned? So for credit memo, we have the interest earned. Kindly read the definition, Eliza.
Yes, ma'am. Interest earned will appear on the bank statement when a bank gives a company interest on its account balance.
Okay. So remember, the amount is added, no? So mao na siya kung nakabantay mo ganyan sa bank statement, kani si interest part siya sa credit memo. So part of the additions. You have to add, no, this is part of the addition to the checking account balance. And remember, it is automatically on the bank statement. Dili siya part sa book balance adjustments. Hence, there is no need to adjust the balance per the bank statement. However, the amount of interest earned will increase the balance of company's cash account on its books. So, adto siya i-adjust sa book balance. Now, for notes receivable, these are assets of a company, no? Current assets. When notes come due, the company might ask its bank to collect the notes receivable. Take note that for the service, the bank will charge a fee. Di ba? Ganina? Kung naay service, mo charge ang company og bank service charge. Now, the bank will increase the company's checking account for the amount it collected. So, kani siya lahi pud ni siya because of the interest and will decrease the account by the collection fee it charges. Since these amounts are already on the bank statement, we need to adjust it in the book balance as part of the credit memo.